But it has gone, hasn't it?
Everything disappears here. What are you, a conjurer?
If I was, you'd have disappeared for a start.
What did you say?
Oh, get lost!
Oh, what are we supposed to do? I've been sitting around all day doing nothing.
Is that unusual?
No, but it's no fun doing nothing if you haven't been given something to do. Miss Selby, you really shouldn't be so mean to me about Mr. Marshall. It wasn't my fault he made a pass at me.
He was only being friendly.
Middle-aged men are like that, aren't they? The older, the flippin' friendlier. Isn't it funny how sex gets hold of you? You know what I mean? No, perhaps not. Miss Selby, you don't think the boss is the murderer, do you?
I know he isn't. But as long as he hides, a number of stupid people are sure to think he is.
Well, do you think he should give himself up?
I'd rather not discuss it, please, if you don't mind.
Oh, Mr. Westerby,
Yes?
any news?
Well, hasn't Miss Selby told you? Mr. Logan came back from his holiday last Thursday.
No.
Oh, yes.
There are floods in Brittany. He thought he'd be better off at home.
Do you think he did it?
Of course not. But at the time of the murder, he was in London. So he's got to be considered with everybody else.
You'd better sit down.
Is she ill?
Mrs. Piper has been with me on a rather unpleasant mission to identify the body of James Cameron.
Oh, I see.
I didn't know she knew him.
She confirms he is the man who came to this building the night he was murdered. He spoke to her. Excuse me a moment. Good night.
He was a handsome man. If it hadn't been for the scar on his face, he'd have been a very handsome man.
A scar on his face?
Yeah, across here. Oh, you can have that back, Harry. I feel like a king to what I was. There now. It must have evaporated.
I want to speak to all of you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this case is unique in my experience.
And mine?
First, the body disappears, dead. And then, it comes back, alive. Then the button disappears. And then the murder weapon. Now Marshall has disappeared for the second time. And finally Logan, in whose office the cops was first seen, turns out to have been in London all the time. Why did no one tell me?
Well, we didn't know. At least I didn't.
I got to know about it only last evening.
I only just heard about it.
I knew.
It would have been a friendly gesture if you had taken me into your confidence.
You told me only to say yes and no.
It is your duty, everybody's duty, to give me all relevant information.
Every time I open my mouth, you tell me to shut it.
Because it's open when it should be shut, and shut when it should be open.
Anyway, he didn't murder anyone.
How did you know he was in London?
Because he rang me and asked me where his fountain pen was.
You should have told me.
Why? Did you know where it was?
Miss Selby, you knew he was in London. He telephoned you last night.
I didn't think it was important.
And you, Mr. Westerby?
Well, Miss Selby told me, but not until this morning. If Marshall was dead, all of us in here were under suspicion. But now, as far as I can see, Logan is no more involved than you are.
Mr. Logan is very deeply involved. He telephoned me at 9 o'clock last night. I arranged to meet him at his flat. I got there at 9:40. Mr. Logan was dead.
He was what?
Murdered, Miss Selby.
Oh, you can't be serious.
Mr. Westerby, that's just one thing I can be. Logan had some information which he implied might be useful to me. Somebody got to him before I did and murdered him.
Do you know who?
No, Miss Reynolds. Do you?
Who, me? Why me?
A woman was seen to arrive at his flat at 10 minutes past 9. Was it you?
It couldn't be her. She's too fond of men to go cutting off the supply.
Marshall,
I don't even know where he lives.
Miss Selby,
Are you asking me if I killed Logan?
I am asking you if you called to see him at his flat in Surbiton last night.
No, I did.
Are you telling me that you went to see Mr. Logan
Yes,
last night?
yes.
May I ask why?
To fetch him his fountain pen.
Was he alive when you got there?
Yes. And when I left,
What time was that?
before 9 o'clock,
What did you talk about?
his fountain pen.
And then you came straight back here?
No, I stopped for a couple on my way back.
So we now have 2 murders on our hands.
If you want my opinion,
I do not want your opinion. What I'm putting before you is a hypothetical question which does not call for an answer.
oh, I see. What's hypothetical?
Superintendent, you think my husband murdered James Cameron. Do you also think he killed Mr. Logan? Oh yes, you're not here to answer questions, but the circumstances are exceptional.
All right, I will tell you what I think happened. Well then, we know that Richard Marshall knew of your infidelity. Suppose he'd found out it was James Cameron, and suppose he'd made arrangements to meet him here when no one was likely to be around. They met, they quarreled, in a rage he killed him. What must he do next? Get rid of the body. Somebody entered Logan's office, the deputy caretaker. He saw her coming and hid.
Where?
Behind the curtains.
There isn't a curtain in Mr. Logan's office.
Then behind the desk.
It's only a table. You can see through it.
Then in the cupboard.
There isn't a cupboard.
Behind the blasted door. And please do not interrupt me when I'm speaking. Now where was I?
Behind the blasted door.
Whilst Marshall was hiding, Mrs. Piper entered the office and saw the dead body. When she ran out of the room in a panic, your husband dragged the body in here. Does that sound reasonable?
You forget one thing. She didn't see James Cameron in here. She said she saw my husband.
Mrs. Piper came back quicker than he'd expected and came in here. So what must he do next? He had to think quickly.
Are you asking me?
Suppose he had already put Cameron's body in the car and had come back for something, perhaps the murder weapon, or to make sure he had left behind no evidence. He heard Mrs. Piper coming. He jumped into this chair and pretended to be the body. Does that satisfy you, Mrs. Marshall?
It doesn't satisfy me.
Be quiet!
I will not be quiet. You can arrest me if you want to, Harry, but I will not stand here like a dummy while you convict an innocent man. Let me tell you what happened.
No!
Ooh, you were always stubborn, Harry Baxter, but now you're being big-headed.
Okay. Describe to us, Mrs. Piper, the case as you see it.
Well,
Just a minute. Are we about to learn what happened or what you think happened?
a bit of both. Now, Mr. Westerby believed that there was something going on between you two. And he didn't believe Mr. Westerby when he denied it. Now, this year Thursday evening, this year Warfield was supposed to come and meet the boss. But he didn't show. He left a note that said, the name you want is James Cameron.
Yes, we know all that.
I know you know all that. But what you don't know is that the note went on to say, and he is in Logan's office now.
How do you know this?
Now who's interrupting? Stop it! It's not ethical. Now, Mr. Logan didn't make heads or tails of it. So he went to investigate. And there in Mr. Logan's office was a dead body. What was he supposed to do?
How do you know all this?
Oh, I'm submerging, aren't I? Now, when I walked in, he didn't know what to do. And when I saw the dead body, I ran straight out to tell Fred. And then Harry. Then he did everything like you said. He knew he'd been framed. He's speaking the truth. And I believe him.
Well
Aren't
done, Mrs.
you
Piper.
clever, love?
Very well.
Mrs. Piper, I'm so grateful.
Oh, it's just my conjecture, of course.
And a very good one too.
Fancy you working all that out.
Come and sit down,
Just a
Mrs.
minute.
Piper.
Just a minute. You have never conjectured as much as that in all your life. If what I'm thinking is true, Lily Piper, I will put you away for 10 years.
I don't know what you're guessing about.
Marshall, that's what I'm gassing about. Godard,
Sir?
go down to the basement to Mrs. Piper's flat. You will find Richard Marshall there and bring him up double quick.
I didn't know he was there, sir.
Mrs. Busybody did. Go on, man, move.
Right, sir.
All right, I'm all yours. How did you hide him?
Well, I might as well tell you the rest of it now. When Mr. Marshall ran out of here, he went straight down to mine in the basement. And he told me everything that happened. And I believe him. He's not a bad man, Harry. He didn't kill anyone.
Now you're conjecturing again.
Ooh, you are to convince.
I stick to facts and demand proof.
You do realize that he doesn't have to prove he did. You have to prove he did. I know the law. So then,
Mr. Marshall, sir.
Welcome back, Mr. Marshall.
Richard, thank God you're all right.
I suppose it was stupid of me. I hope Mrs. Piper won't suffer for it.
She knows the law. She just told us. What is the penalty for assisting a suspected criminal to escape?
he can't wait to see me in jail.
Am I under arrest?
I shall have to ask you to accompany me to the station for further questioning. You're not under arrest yet.
Richard, please forgive me. It's all my fault.
Oh, it's all right, dear. I'm equally to blame. Shall we go?
First of all, we'll take another look in Mr. Logan's office. I would want you to explain to me what you claim happened. You better come along too.
Oh, I'd love to, dear, but I wouldn't want to interfere.
The rest of you can go home. There's no point in staying here.
I feel so helpless. He thinks Mr. Marshall is guilty. Well, I think I shall go to the pictures. Do they never give you any time off, Mr. Goddard?
Actually, I'm off this evening.
How nice! I think I shall go to the Odeon. The last program starts at 7:15. It's a smashing film.
What is it?
Oh, I don't know. Does it matter?
So it suddenly struck me that if I could frighten Mrs. Piper, she'd panic, and I'd get away with it.
So what do you suggest happened?
I don't know. Obviously, somebody knew about me and knew about my wife and James Cameron. They all know how jealous I am. If James Cameron had been found dead in my office, I'd be the first one to suspect.
Suspicion wouldn't harm you, sir. There would have to be evidence against you.
I tell you, I can't prove it.
If it's going to be accepted, sir, it's got to be proved.
I just can't prove it.
I can.
Be quiet! What did you say?
I said I can prove that what he's saying is true.
If you have any information hidden from me...
I have nothing hidden from you, but I've got an idea.
All right, tell me, if Mr. Marshall didn't do it, who did it?
Young Westerby.
Westerby! Shh! Why should he kill Cameron?
I don't know.
Why should he want to harm Mr. Marshall?
I don't know that either.
Then what do you know?
I know he done it. I don't know why, but I know.
Oh,
She says she knows it's Westerby. Give her a chance to prove it.
does she have any proof?
Not that I know of. No proof.
But I have against you!
Oh, that's very clever, that is. Proving an innocent man committed murder. I know a way to catch young Westerby, but I'll need your help.
Give her a chance,
Ha!
Superintendent.
I am not to be dismissed entirely.
Do give her a chance.
Okay, I'll give you precisely 10 minutes. Godard,
Sir?
where have you been?
Just checking a few things, sir.
Shut the door and come in. In precisely 10 minutes, we leave this building. Mr. Marshall will accompany us to the station.
No. Don't go to the police station. It's only a waste of petrol. Pretend to go. come back and hang about outside.
Take him, Godard, you heard.
Right, sir. Come with me, sir. There's a car waiting downstairs. You have to come along to the station.
Better sit down.
No, you can't sit here. He won't say anything if he knows you're listening.
Ah, you want me to wait outside?
No, inside.
Inside what?
The cupboard.
You don't expect me to get in there.
Oh, there's nowhere else, is there?
What's going on in here? I hear a lot of noise.
I didn't hear no noise, dear. Oh, Mr. Westerby, did you hear they've arrested Mr. Marshall?
Well, that was inevitable, wasn't it?
And Mr. Westerby, can you spare me a moment of your time?
Now, what is it, Mrs. Piper? I'm really busy.
It's just that, you see, liking you as I do, I don't want to tell the police what I know.
Tell the police, tell them what, Mrs. Piper?
That it wasn't Mr. Marshall Mr. Cameron came to see. It was you.
Me? Oh, it couldn't have been.
Another thing, Mr. Westerby, you said you've never seen James Cameron.
Certainly.
But when I said he had a scar on his face, you looked surprised.
Did I? Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, I do. Because he didn't have a scar, did he? And you, if you had known him, would have known whether he had one or not.
Well, Mrs. Piper, are you going to tell all this to the police?
I have no choice, do I?
No, you haven't.
Mr. Westerby, you've locked the doors.
So I have, Mrs. Piper.
Mr. Westerby, you've murdered 2 men.
Yes, I have.
That's not very nice, is it? What did you want to do that for? You must have had a very good reason.
Oh, I had a very good reason. And I don't mind telling you about it under the circumstances. It would only be nice to have someone to confide in. Now, I think you'd better sit down, Mrs. Piper.
No, I'd just as soon stand.
Oh, sit down, Mrs. Piper! Yes! Yes, in one stroke I got rid of the 2 men I hate most. Cameron and Marshall. I want Claire. With Cameron dead, I'd have no opposition. She likes me. Yes, she likes me a great deal. And with Marshall out of the way, I'll take over the business as well. Now, it was really ingenious, you know. I sent the letter to Cameron, signed Marshall, asking him to meet me here at 8:15. And when he turned up, I was waiting for him. Meanwhile, Marshall was there in the cafe waiting for the non-existent Mr. Warfield. Now, Mrs. Piper, do you understand?
But what did you want to harm poor Mr. Logan for?
Oh, well, for the last couple of years or so, Logan and I have been dipping our hands into the till. He said he didn't mind being a thief, but he drew the line at murder. He was going to tell the police. Now, I couldn't have that, could I? So I had to get rid of him. Mrs. Piper, I'm terribly sorry. I'm very fond of you. But now I'd have to get rid of you!
Oh, yeah, I've got something to tell you. Miss Superintendent Baxter's in this cupboard. He's heard every word.
Oh, you're bluffing, Mrs. Piper.
Oh, God, not come here. Come.
Mrs. Piper! Where did she go? Mrs. Piper! Where are you? Mrs. Piper! Where is that wretch old? Here you are. Get out!
Mr. Westerby, I come befitted. Think of your mom.
Mr. Get out! I will not be hurt. Are you all right?
Oh, I've never been chased like this.
What's that noise?
Oh, there's Harry. Harry's kitchen's in the cupboard. Oh, Harry. Oh, slap him. Slap him harder.
Godard, what the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry, sir, but what were you doing in there?
Waiting for a 28 bus. Why didn't you let me out?
Harry, my life was in danger. What a time to take a nap.
Take a nap? I nearly died in your blasted cupboard. Robert Westerby, I'm arresting you for the murders of Logan and James Cameron. And it is my duty to inform you that anything you say will be taken down and used as evidence.
Save your breath. If I'm not smart enough to outwit her, I give up.
You willing to make a statement?
If it will please you. Oh, you old bitch!
Ooh, Harry, did you hear what he called you?
Mrs. Piper, I don't know how to thank you.
You could make me a director?
I will.
No, I'd be happy just being a sleeping partner.
Anything you want.
Better take him to the car, I'll follow.
Mrs. Piper, I really apologize. I shouldn't have tried to strangle you.
That's all right, dear.
I should have bloody broken your neck!
He's too rough. I don't want to play with him no more.
Hadn't you better run along and tell your wife so?
You mean I'm free to go?
Yes, dear.
Just a
We
moment.
shan't be needing you anymore.
That button, I suppose you took it?
You cheeky thing.
Oh dear.
He kissed me. Harry, I've never been kissed by a tycoon. Did you hear? He's going to make me his sleeping partner.
Well, I hope you're satisfied, Lily.
Yes. Oh, come and give me a hand, please. Can you help me pick up things, please? Come on, Harry. Oh. Thank you, Harry.
My God, it's gone!
What's gone this time?
The signed confession.
Oh, Harry, you are careless.
Everything disappears. Everything bloody well vanishes.
You're raising your voice again?
Wait a minute. Give me that basket.
Why?
Give it to me.
Why?
Here! The signed confession.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Mohit Bhupal as PC Godard, Unnati Ved as Miss Selby, Vikram Vepa as Richard Marshall,